LSU football back. We touched on it yesterday. Now, one thing we didn't touch on yesterday, Jake, is as confident as I am in this offensive line with the transfer of Lunsford coming in from Maryland, I feel like you have 7 guys that you feel good about, that you would deem starting caliber, which is a great place to be. But for this spring, at least, until these freshmen and Lunsford get here, which is additional 5 bodies, they're a little light heading into spring. I want to say 11 scholarship linemen and maybe only 10 available after the departures of the transfer portal offseason, as there will be no Charles Turner for this spring. Look, I think partially this is just a byproduct of a lot of young players kind of asserting themselves in starting roles. And it's especially when you have 2 freshmen that become starters as offensive tackles, right? In the age of the portal, you are going to suffer some attrition. But offensive line, and specifically, Jake, the center position is one of the things to watch this spring. And I feel a little bad for Charles Turner because even though I thought he way exceeded expectations last year, that still seems to be a position that they're constantly bringing up in terms of like, well, we want to see what we have there. We want to see if we can improve there. That's and, okay. That comes to the territory for sure. I'm saying it sucks for Turner, though, that he can't practice this spring. He's not going to lose a job. Like, it'll all be decided in fall. But, like, Marlon Martinez could go play really well, and then going into fall, instead of being Turner Martinez, it's a slash. And it's like, okay, it's a 50-50 deal now. Who's going to win that job?
Yeah,
like, this is like qualifying for the fall's race, basically, spring ball race.
I mean, you certainly can win a job in the spring. Like, you can put yourself in that position. I know for me, I did.
Yeah.
My junior and senior year, like going in there competing for the running back position. So it can be won in the spring. And Marlon Martinez is somebody that I think we've both enjoyed watching his tape because when he's played well. And he'll have every opportunity to put himself in that race, and I'm sure that he was told that. That's why when you saw every other backup offensive lineman, Christian Bale, and go in the transfer portal, he stayed.
Yep.
So I think he knows he's in that competition. And you do have 11 offensive linemen scholarship, 10 going to be available with Charles Turner, but it's spring football, so you'll have some walk-ons out there.
Yes, sure.
Certainly with the second and third unit. So you'll have the numbers. I don't think you have to worry too much.
It's not when you had 8, but it's not also that far off from 8. You're just a little lighter than you would ideally want to be. But again, it's not. It's like it's a byproduct of something positive, which was having a bunch of young starters that you actually feel good about. Yeah. So you got to take you got to take the consequence of something that's good.
And you have multiple players that we're talking about that have cross-trained inside and out. So a guard and tackle. The center, like T-Bob laid out. That's probably where you're a little nervous. Fitzgerald West will be somebody that's probably going to be the backup center. So you have, 2 guys in there, and I don't know who that third option. I mean, Dellinger's done it before.
Yep.
Now I don't know how much you're like, hey, we got to get you some guard reps, or if he might be the guy in spring practice. We don't know that because he's had that in his past. So I think you'll be okay there. I think you've got enough bodies. I think. Knowing who you have coming in as far as high school and transfers as well, it's not a position where you're going to panic just yet.
No. There's no need for panic. To be clear, I think offensive line is a strength.
Yeah. I'm just really even talking about numbers.
Yeah. It'll be fine. Yes, it'll be up to 15 when everybody gets in here, or 16. So you'll have more than enough. But I certainly think that probably Will Campbell, Emory Jones stay at tackle. And then there's like some combination of Turner, Martinez, Dellinger, Frazier, and Lunsford in the middle. So 5 guys to decide 3 jobs. And that's not even getting into can somebody like Zalance Hurd maybe push for PT? We will see. But I know that most of y'all don't really care about O-line like that, so that'll do it for that. Just the unfortunate truth of the matter, dude.
I mean, look, you don't have to tell me.
It's just the bass player.
Or a fullback.
Yeah. Fullbacks can play bass.
I mean, we can score touchdowns and stuff, but still.
Which gives you a little bit of like stolen skill valor, but, for the most part, y'all are largely ignored as well. So we'll grant you.
You don't
get to come in the secret room, but you can come in the waiting room. You can come hang out in the waiting room.
But I used to get into the secret room in the NFL.
It's bad leadership by those NFL linemen then. Actually, no. Because you catch it. Yeah.
So my guys, Nick Harwood, Chris Dillman, Marcus McNeil, it was funny, and they were like, all right, like, here, give us your spiel. And I'd be like, And I stopped. I was like, well, when I'm in the game, 100% of the time when I'm in, my fingers are touching the ground.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, all right.
Okay. That's not a bad argument.
I'm in a 3-point stance every time I'm in. So
in the offensive line kangaroo court of law, okay, there's some connective tissue then there.
Yeah.
But again, you and tight ends still get to, get a little bit of glory.
They let me and Randy in, but Gates, they were like, nah, bruh, Gates, no.
No.
You're in a 2-point stance every time
Gates
you're
is
in
a
here.
pass catcher. You ain't letting Tony Gonzalez in the O-line room. All right, so other key absences from this spring. Interestingly, Jake, the D-line's going to be awesome. You're not going to see a lot of the awesome guys this spring, which is not a horrible thing, right? Because there's going to be no Mekhi Wingo. Okay, Mekhi Wingo's an All-American. You know what Mekhi Wingo's going to do. Mason Smith is going to be non-contact. Great. You think I want Mason Smith exposed to any risk in spring? You're absolutely insane. No. Do not have that man do contact. Defensive tackle from West Virginia that transferred in, Jordan Jefferson, he is going to be out for this spring. So the defensive line, I mean, who does that?
No Jordan Jefferson pun. Shocked.
It's just too obvious. It's just
has
too obvious,
that
dude.
Ever stopped you before?
Yeah, because generally mine are like super creative. Yeah. Like remember On Cod last week? That was so good. That's still my favorite one.
Are T-Bob's puns creative?
Yes. Citizens Bank best poll question of the day.
Some, but some are dumb. Yeah.
Okay. Danny? That was a step too far. I didn't say dumb. Danny?
I'd say, 50-50.
That's my dog.
All right.
Hey, baby, that's Hall of Fame numbers right there, Bo. What do we want the Pelicans? If Pelicans shoot 50% from three, they'll go undefeated.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
The rest of the stretch, too.
Well, I mean, they almost did last night, and they got a little hairy. But, yeah, probably.
Yeah, but they won.
They did.
Yeah. All it took was CJ making 3 threes in a row. That'll happen every
exactly. Every single night.
So, who does that actually leave, though, on the interior defensive line to practice this spring? I'm not sure off the top of my head if I'm just being honest.
No, I mean, and you got Jacoby and Guillory still, so he'll be there.
Big spring for him.
Obviously, we're talking interior. You might have to kick some edge guys. They might have to play. I mean,
Fitzgerald West, move him back.
I mean, so you'll have Hill, you'll have Jalen Lee coming over, a transfer from Florida. I mean, you're going to be thin there. I mean, there's no really way that you can get around it. You're going to have to kind of be creative, I think, as far as who you kick down. Hey, Quincy Wiggins, you're an edge, but we need you to kick down here for a little bit. Just get some reps.
He can do it.
So. Bryson Langston will be another guy you'll probably see in there.
Forgot about Langston. Okay, hell yeah. And then you have no Deuce Chestnut this spring, which is a bit disappointing given that I think the cornerback is the most interesting position battle on the team because I think they have a ton of talent, but it's all talent just gathered from kind of disparate areas, and I can't wait to watch that competition, but certainly an all-ACC performer like Deuce Chestnut you would have loved to see in that. He's going to be out. And then no Deshaun Womack, as he's going to be non-contact as well with Mason Smith. And you may be saying, who's Deshaun Womack? He is one of the early enrollee freshmen, but he's a very, very highly rated edge rusher and somebody who a lot of people think will have a big role come this fall, even as a freshman.
I mean, he's one of those day one guys I think that we talked about yesterday. I would have liked to seen him as well, but at the end of the day, it is it's spring practice, it's not created the same for everyone. Mekhi Wingo, I'm not worried about that. You're not worried about some of these veteran players, like the younger players, early enrollees. You would love to have them out there because that's why they're here. That's why they're not at their high school prom. That's why they're enrolled, because to get a leg up on every other freshman that didn't have the ability to come in early. So that's a little disappointing, but you have to be smart during spring as well. You have to work on the things you have to work on, but you have to know there's obviously a bigger picture down the road.
Yeah, and so none of those guys are going to be available. But you'll have Jaden Daniels. You'll have this receiving core. You start pushing the ball downfield more. What kind of work? And I wonder, now that Jaden Daniels knows that he is QB1, that he's gotten the full offseason, reportedly from what we're hearing, he's just been working like mad, right? I wonder, see, just how good can he get? How far can he push this thing? How much of that original freshman potential can he fulfill from what he flashed at Florida State? Like he started to last year, and now I think he can build even off of that. and he could become scary good this season potentially. But it starts here in spring. And then, I mean, how do you think they approach the Nussmeier reps? In terms of, Daniels without a doubt the one, but do you have to give Nussmeier some reps, like one in every 4? Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get some work with the first team.
How much do you think? Like 1/3, 1/4? I mean, obviously, because he's the next guy up, you need to do that for the team, not just to keep him happy. But I'm wondering, like, how much you go out of your way to do that?
If you have a 12-play period, then usually, like the way it works, is Jaden's going to get 8 and Nuss going to get 4.
Okay.
Like, that's the way that I've always been a part of it. Like, even if it was a backup that wasn't going to necessarily play unless the starter got hurt, like, you're still going to have a breakdown where he's going to get his plays. Now, it might be 10-2. A lot of times it is 8-4, but he is a starter caliber player.
Yeah.
He's played with this team before, and you need him ready. You need him engaged. You need him locked in. So, yeah, you definitely split it 8-4.
Scott Day says, Les Miles will make Mason Smith go full contact to take chop blocks every practice. Make him do big cat drill.
I wish we did big cat drill when I was there.
It was tight during camp. It was not tight week 10 of the season.
I love it, though.
Going into like an 8-0. Until guys are catching concussions on a Monday in week 9 or Tuesday. It would have been on Tuesday. But on week 9 of the season. It was really cool though during camp when like everybody lines up and like all the pride, it's all on the line. I will give him that. Good for developing toughness. Maybe not the best in-season drill.
I mean, he wasn't the only one that did that.
What? No.
Coach
But it was,
did it too.
Yeah. Well, isn't that kind of one of the storylines on the Ogeron era? Is that initially when he took over, it was like, okay, we're dialing back, and it showed like, oh, they're getting faster and faster in practice, and then as things started to get hairy, some of those old, we got to work harder, we got to do this, like some of those old traps were falling into once again. So no, you're right. It's not unique to Les Miles. I don't know. Does Brian? Do they do any big cat anymore?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so.
It's not something I would think that they take part in.